Good morning.
Morning.
Who's Peyton Manning?
Quarterback.
Gavin's Peyton Manning.
They beat the Bears 06. He's got a big forehead.
We got
I knew
strong opinions on Peyton Manning.
He looks like Dalton Schaefer.
Simmer that down.
Brady's better.
We've got some strong opinions in here on Peyton Manning.
I said plate game. There you go, Trevor.
Huh?
All right, easy, brother.
All
All right, so wow, I was not expecting that. All right, so if you don't know who Peyton Manning is, Peyton Manning is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, right? One of the greatest to ever do his craft. So I want to ask you a question about Peyton Manning. You guys think Peyton Manning is talented?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Debatable. Okay. All right, so I want you to think about that for just a second. I want to tell you a story about Peyton Manning this morning, and then we're going to come back to that question. See, one of my favorite stories of all time about Peyton Manning is from this guy who went to go watch Peyton Manning practice. And this is when he was still with the Colts, so this is towards the end of his career with the Colts. He had already won a Super Bowl by this time, okay? And so he's in his mid-30s by this point, which is, if you don't know anything about football, mid-30s, to still be playing in the NFL, is something that not a lot of people do. So he is on the back end of his career, towards the end of his quote-unquote prime. All right, and so this guy goes to the Colts training facility to go watch Peyton Manning practice. And so he shows up to the training facility, and everybody on the team is in the locker room, and they're joking around. And this guy didn't realize that he missed the workout. He missed the training session. He showed up late. So they had already finished. They were already done. And so everybody's already in the locker room, and everybody's joking around. It's the end of the session. Except Peyton Manning's not in there. And so this guy is looking for Peyton Manning because he wanted to come watch Peyton Manning train. And so he starts asking around. He starts asking some of the guys on the team, where's Peyton at? And some of them just smiled. And some of them just laughed. And they go, if you really wanted to find him, it's not that hard. Just walk out in the hallway and you'll hear. And so this guy's a little confused, and so he walks out into the hallway of this training facility, and he can hear this shouting coming from another room. And so he starts to walk to this room, and he walks into the room, and there's Peyton Manning. After the workout is already done, everybody else is done, is getting showered, is getting ready to go home for the day, and there's Peyton Manning on this rock wall. Anybody ever go rock climbing before? Yeah, pretty tough, isn't it? Have you ever been on a rotating rock wall? One that moves? No. If you can imagine, it's a little bit tougher than just a regular rock wall. It's called a transverse rock wall. And there's Peyton Manning, who's 35 years old at this point. And there he is up on the transversing rock wall. And he's shouting. He's shouting out audibles. He's shouting out defensive coverages. He's shouting out the plays that he's going to be calling in a game when he's got to scream out in front of 80,000 people. And there he is, post-training, post-practice, already a champion. And there he is up on the rock wall, suffering, training, while nobody else is in there. And so I want to come back to the question I asked you at the beginning here this morning. Is Peyton Manning talented? You guys still say yes. I disagree with you. I don't think Peyton Manning is talented. Now, was he born with something? Yes, absolutely. One of the things that helped him was he was born into a family with a father who played in the NFL, and that helped tremendously, right? So yes, he was born with some things. He was born with some advantages. But I would say that Peyton Manning is not talented. He is trained. There's a difference between trained and untrained. And Peyton Manning is trained. There's nothing that Peyton Manning earned that he did not work for. harder than anybody else throughout his entire career for decades, day after day after day. And so if we go back to my original question, I don't think Peyton Manning is talented. I think he's skilled. I think he's trained. Everyone that I talk to, and probably everybody sitting in this room, has really big dreams. Some of you have some big dreams, something that you want to do, something that you want to accomplish in your life. Everybody has really big dreams. Few are willing to put in the work. Few are willing to intentionally sacrifice and struggle and embrace the struggle like Peyton Manning. The people who are ultra performers, the people who are the best in the world at their craft, sacrifice so much, day in, day out. They're in the gym getting jumpers while everybody else is sleeping. They're lifting while everybody else is out partying. They're rehabbing while everybody else is chilling. And so my question for you this morning is how you spend your day, is how you spend your 24 hours a day in line with the size of your dreams. And when somebody asked me that question a couple of years ago, that question drastically rocked me to my core because I had really big dreams. But if I took a realistic look at how I spent my day, the two were not in line with each other. And so if you want to be like Peyton Manning, even if you don't want to be in the NFL, if you want to be at the top of your craft, if you want to be at the top of your game like Peyton Manning, are you willing to sacrifice and struggle and work like he does? Day after day, year after year. Does anybody know how long it takes to become an expert at something? How long?
I don't know, that's just quite a bit of time.
Quite a bit of time. Okay. The research shows that it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. 10,000 hours. Okay, you guys get 24 hours in a day. You don't have to be very good at math to realize that that takes a long time. Okay? Statistically, according to the research, it takes about 10 years of tough, deliberate practice. And yet we get trapped into this belief that people are talented, that people are lucky, that people are an overnight success. What about Tiger Woods? Let's talk about Tiger Woods for a second. Who's Tiger Woods?
Best golfer of all time.
One of the best golfers of all time. All right? He was a really great golfer at a young age. So Tiger Woods would be a great example of somebody who is quote-unquote talented, right? He was gifted with something. Right?
Yeah.
No! Tiger Woods' dad had Tiger Woods in a baby stroller watching him swing a golf club over and over again all day long when he was just old enough to open up his eyes. He was already training. By the time you and I were learning how to walk, Tiger Woods already had a golf club in his hand. Yes, Tiger Woods was an amazing golfer by the time that he was 13, 14 years old. But he'd already been practicing for 10 years. He had already put in the 10,000 hours. Everybody wants to be great. Everybody has really big dreams. Until it's time to put in the work that greatness requires, that those dreams require. Something I learned is that greatness is not for the chosen few. I believed that for my entire life. I thought you had to be talented. I thought you had to be lucky. I thought you had to be chosen. I thought that greatness was for the chosen few. But greatness is actually for the few who choose. So if you have really big dreams, if you're sitting in your desk right now, if you want to be a CEO, if you want to be a boss, if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a starter, if you want to be a captain, if you want to be all-state, whatever it is that you want, are you putting in the work? Are you intentionally sacrificing? And yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, your friends are going to be chilling. Yes, your friends are going to be playing Fortnite. Yes, your friends are going to be on Snapchat. Yes, your friends are going to be chilling on Facebook. And it's going to feel really lonely. It sucks being the only one getting early to practice. It sucks studying on a Friday night when all your friends are out chilling. But again, it comes down to, what do you want? What do you want? And if you have really big dreams, you have to start putting in the 10,000 hours right now. Because otherwise you can wait, but it's still going to take the time. For me, if I would have understood this when I was in your chair, I would be in a much different place in my life right now. And that's okay. I don't beat myself up over that. It's just going to take me a lot longer to get to where I want to go. So for you, why don't you choose that now? Choose greatness now. Embrace the struggle. The obstacle is the way. Go win the day.